Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about how to easily set up a website. There are so many people who are interested in starting their own websites or blogs and think about turning their passion into a business, but they don't do it because they believe they don't have the technical abilities to do so. The truth is, you don't need to be a super programmer to have your own website, as there are so many tools to help you. This video is going to be a simple tutorial to help you get your first website live on the internet. So the first step to getting your website live on the internet is to get a domain name. A domain name is simply the URL that you type into a browser to get a website. You need to purchase one for yourself in order to have a unique URL that people can visit. Domain names can be purchased from places like Namecheap and GoDaddy. When it comes to choosing your domain name, I would suggest going for the .com extension, as it's the most popular and trusted. Also, don't make a domain name too long so that it's hard to remember or too difficult to type into a browser. Lastly, I would recommend a domain name that is relatively broad so that you can branch out your content in the future if you want to. Let's look at how easy it is to purchase a domain name. Okay, so we're currently on the Namecheap website, as you can see here. And then you got a little search bar here. It's different with different domain name providers, but it's pretty similar anyway. So you go ahead and type in the domain name that you want. I'm going to type in thepursuitofadream.com and then run its search. And what it's doing now is checking to see if that domain name is available and if anyone already owns it, because you can't have the same as somebody else. As you can see, there's an X because I already own it. So as a prospective customer or person who's looking for a domain name, you can't have the same as somebody else. They give you alternatives, but like I said, it's best to stick with the .com extension. And let's try random website URL blah.com. And I'm pretty sure, yep, nobody has that. And what you do is you just go ahead and press add to cart, and it's like buying anything online. It's pretty simple. But once you go through the process, you'll end up owning the URL, and then you can use that to set up your website when you connect it to a hosting provider, which is something we're going to talk about next. So the next step to getting your website live on the internet is you need to get a hosting provider to host your website for you. They do this all for a low monthly cost. Don't worry about the technical aspects of how this all works, as it's irrelevant. The hosting provider I currently use is HostGator, mainly for their live chat function and the one-click installs. I do believe other hosting providers do this as well, but HostGator was the one I started with, so I just stick with it. So let's have a look at hosting providers. So here we are on HostGator.com, the hosting provider that I suggest and recommend. We go to web hosting. This is where you can kind of see the different packages that are available. There's cloud hosting and WordPress hosting as well, but personally, if you're just getting started out, I would say stick to standard web hosting. It works perfectly fine. I use it myself. And you can see the different plans. You basically want to choose the one that best suited to you. I'd recommend getting unlimited domains in case you want to host more than one domain using the same hosting provider and not having to pay more. Bear in mind that the prices are starting at, and they change depending on how much you pay in terms of like if you do a monthly payment or a yearly or 2 years, etc. So let's just click this for now. And it's basically the same with anything you buy online, just fill in the information. You can register a domain with HostGator as well. Personally, I like to keep it separately, and I've always done Namecheap and HostGator as my domain name person and my hosting provider. So if you already own the domain name, just type it in here, fill out the information. As you can see here, the billing cycle is different. It's different depending on how long you pay in advance. The price will be different. That's up to you. Fill out the information. You can choose if you want these things or not. I recommend just not have anything for now. And then once you make your payment, you'll have a hosting provider as well. And then the next step will be to link it all together. So you link a domain name to the hosting provider to get it live on the internet. So like I said, the next step is to connect your domain name to your hosting provider so that you can get your website live on the internet. Let me show you how to do this. Just open up Namecheap and HostGator and follow the instructions. Okay, so here we're on the back end of HostGator. This is where you'll end up once you've gone through the sign up process. The function you're looking for is called Quick Install, so you can just ignore everything else. Click on this one, and then this will load up. You want to use WordPress, forget about all the other things, let's just keep it simple. You want to select the domain name that you purchased earlier from Namecheap. I'm going to have a list here, but you can ignore that. And then you basically do next, and then fill in the information and click install, and then they will send you an email to the admin email. So like I said, you'll get an email from HostGator with all the information. You can ignore this email for now, because we need to go back to Namecheap first to do some stuff. Okay, so back on Namecheap, once you sign up for an account and logged on and everything, you'll end up on this page. You want to go to domain list and then choose your domain, as you can see here. You want to click manage. So basically here, what we want to do is change the name service to work with HostGator. So as you can see here, it says name servers. You want to make sure you selected custom DNS. And then what we need to do is find the information from HostGator. So when you're back on this page, what you want to do is scroll down. And then on the right here, you can see your primary and secondary name servers. You want to copy and paste them both. Place that information here and then click the tick button, and I'll show you what happens next. Now we're back to the email that we got from HostGator when we first set up the WordPress installation. It gives you the admin URL that you need to access the website and then your username and password. Basically, sometimes it takes some time for the website to actually transfer over to the DNS or whatever the technical BS is. But don't be alarmed if it doesn't work immediately. Just wait a while and then keep checking it, and then eventually you'll be able to log in. So as you can see, it was pretty damn simple to get a website out there and onto the internet. Don't worry, I'll show you my website that I just set up when it's fully loaded. But for now, let's just continue the slides. So the next step after you've got your website live is choosing a theme and start designing your website. So it's time to make your website look nice and pretty. This starts with choosing a nice theme. My favorite themes are made by Hextra Themes, however you pronounce that, simply because they were the easiest to customize. Genesis themes are also very popular, but the main thing is when choosing a theme, just make sure it's heavily supported and not made by one individual. So you want it to be made by a company or a big team and not just one person. So at this point, you'll have a website live on the internet using the WordPress platform. There are so many video tutorials out there already on how to use WordPress, so you can look at those to learn the basics of how to design your website, as well as the basic functions like using pages and posts and etc. So now that your website is live, now what? At some point your website will be live and you'll be posting content on a regular basis. You'll soon wonder how to get people to actually come to your website and read your content. This is where driving traffic and email list building comes into play. An email list is one of the most powerful things you can build for your website. And on that note, I suggest you watch my video on the 10 reasons why you should build an email list. But before you go and watch that video, let me show you the website that we just set up. So as you can see, the website we just built using Namecheap and HostGator is live on the internet now, and people can actually visit this URL, although there's not much on the site at the moment, so I wouldn't see the point. But the purpose of this video wasn't to build an amazingly looking website, it was to show you how easy it is to get a website live on the internet using the WordPress platform. Just so you're aware, there are easier ways to do this. For example, you could have your domain name and your host be the same company. For example, Namecheap allows you to do both, and so does HostGator. I just did them separately because it's the way I've always done it. But just so you know, you can do it from the same company as well. But really, it's that simple to get a website live on the internet. So I hope there's nothing stopping you from building your own website, and I'll see you in the next video.